Fourth grade lesson 12.4 is customary units of liquid volume. So we did customary units of length. That was the foot and inches, 12 inches in a foot, 3 feet in a yard. And we did customary units of weight in the previous lesson, where 1 pound was 16 ounces and 1 ton was 2,000 pounds. And now we're going to talk about the customary units of liquid volume. Our essential question is, how can you use models to compare customary units of liquid volume? Liquid, how we measure our liquids. I know this looks overwhelming, but don't worry. We'll get through that okay, no worries. Liquid volume is the measure of the space a liquid occupies. Like if you have hot chocolate in a cup, the hot chocolate occupies the mug that you have it in. Some basic units of measuring liquid volume are gallons, half gallons, quarts, pints, and cups. And we use these in our measurement system here in the US, and so we'll get a little bit familiar with all of those. The bars below model the relationship among some units of liquid volume. The largest unit are the gallons. Probably that's one you're familiar with. It's how we measure milk. We buy milk sometimes by the gallon, a gallon jug, or water. Sometimes we have it in gallon jugs. We buy our gasoline by the gallon. The smallest unit are fluid ounces. Let's take a look at this. 1 cup is like the little measuring cup that you use when you're cooking. That is 8 ounces. So 8 ounces is our smallest amount, 8 ounces. 1 pint is the same as 2 cups, and 1 quart is the same as 4 cups. And they all sort of interrelate a little bit. So let's start with our biggest one, the gallon. I'm going to highlight that in a color here. Let's make that, for the biggest one, let's make that red. Okay. And in the part that makes sense, the half gallon is half the size of a full gallon. Now you can think of the half gallon size. Some people buy milk by the half gallon. Those are the cardboard containers that you can buy milk in. Half of half a gallon, or 1/4 of, if you take the whole gallon and split it into fourths, that is a quart. So 1/4 of a gallon is a quart. And you can think of that like quarters. 4 quarters makes $1, right? Quart. Quart is kind of a root word for 4. So 1 quart. Oh, I did not want that on there. Hang on, I wanted a highlighter. Okay, here we go. Quart is 1/4 of a gallon. I'm going to erase that. I can't erase it. I'll scribble it out. Okay. Now, a pint is half of a quart. See this 1 quart? It's 2 pints to make a quart. So everything just keeps cutting in half as we go down the line until we get to the smallest one. So a pint is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of them to make up a full gallon. I would need 8 pints to make a gallon. And then it takes 2 cups to make a pint. A cup is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cups to make a gallon. And then a fluid ounce, it takes, 1 cup is the same as 8 fluid ounces. So that is an equal amount. So 16 of those 8 fluid ounces. 8 fluid ounces, so this is even smaller. It's not even half of that. 8 fluid ounces is a cup. So an ounce is 1/8 of a cup. So it would be a big multiplier to that. How does the size of a gallon compare to the size of a quart? We have 1/4 for the quart. Sort of like money. If gallons were the dollars, a quart is the quarters, right? Okay, draw 2 bars that represent this relationship. We have a gallon. We'll kind of use the same bars that they have. Gallon and quart. 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4 quarts. Okay, we can think of it like the dollar and the quarter. $1 and 4 quarters. same thing. Quart is 4 of them to make a gallon. They say shade 1 gallon on one bar and 1 quart on the other bar. We kind of did that already. Compare the size of 1 gallon to the size of 1 quart. So 1 gallon is 4 times as much as 1 quart. You would need 4 quarts to make a gallon. So that's important for us to have that relationship. So let's use an example of comparing measures. Serena needs to make 3 gallons of lemonade. Gallons is our measurement for the lemonade sale. She has a powder mix that makes 350 fluid ounces of lemonade. Fluid ounces, okay? How can she decide if she has enough powder mix? All right, we're going to use the model from page 483, which I'll bring over to this page in just a moment, to find the relationship between gallons and fluid ounces. That was the smallest amount and the largest amount where I said there's a big multiplier between them. Let me pull up that picture. Okay, here's that picture that we had from the previous page. And 1 gallon is how many cups? 1 whole gallon is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 cups. So that was helpful for that. And 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces. So 1 gallon is 1 cup. It is 16 cups. 16 cups times 8 fluid ounces. It's going to be a big number, right? So we have 16 cups times 8 fluid ounces. This is where I got the 8 fluid ounces in a cup. There were 16 cups in a gallon, and that's what we're comparing it to. Now I just do the math. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 1 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for the carryover. It is 128 fluid ounces that in a gallon. She needs to make 3 gallons of lemonade. She has 350 fluid ounces. Okay, we're part way there. Let's move this out of our way. Uh-oh, that whole thing wants to move. Hold on just a moment. Okay, so here's where we left off. 1 gallon is 128 fluid ounces is what we figured out. Like you're a detective, it's a puzzle. We needed to use the pieces of evidence to find our way. What about 2 gallons? Well, we know if 1 gallon is 128 ounces, then I would do 2 times 128 to find out how many 2 gallons is. 8 times 2 is 16, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 2 times 1 is 2. That's 256 fluid ounces for 2 gallons. And for 3 gallons, we do the same thing, 128 times 3 for the gallons, because each gallon is 128 ounces. 8 times 3 is 24, 3 times 2 is 6, 7, 8, and 3 times 1 is 3, 384 fluid ounces. Now we're compare 350 fluid ounces is how much mix she had, that she has a powder mix that makes that much. So does the powder mix give us enough? 350 fluid ounces compared to 384 that she needs. No, the 384 is larger than 350. Serena has enough mix to make 350 fluid ounces and she needs 3 gallons. 350 fluid ounces is less than 3 gallons. So Serena does not have, not enough room on that line there, does not have enough mix to make 3 gallons of lemonade. So notice we had to go through a lot of steps to get there, but they're steps that you have, and we had to use this thing to help us out. So just be the detective, be patient, take your time, and use the knowledge you have. Right now, this is not something you have kind of in your head, but in time, this is information you have in your head because we use these measurements a lot. All right, let's take a look at the share and show. Compare the size of the quart to the size of a pint and use the model to help. They have that here, 1 quart, and they have it over here too. 1 quart is the same as 2 pints. So I will write 1 pint and 1 pint to show that 2 pints makes 1 quart. So 1 quart is 2 times as much as 1 pint. Sorry, that picture turned out blurry. Okay, hopefully that's clearer in your book. 2 pints is the same as how many cups? Well, let's do 2 pints, 1 pint, and 1 pint. And how much is 1 pint compared to cups? Let's find it. 1 pint is 2 cups. So I'm going to do a bar model for that. 1 pint is 2 cups. And so 2 pints is 4 cups. You see how that model became helpful for me? So 4 cups. 2 pints is the same as 4 cups. And pretty soon you could look at this and go, oh, if 1 pint is 2 cups, then 2 pints is 4 cups. Let's go 3 gallons compared to quarts. Let's first start with 1 gallon as a model. 1 gallon. And how many quarts are in a gallon? You might recognize that one already. 1 gallon is 4 quarts, just like money. So let's do 4 quarts. There's our quarts. So we have 4 for 1 gallon. 4 times the 3 gallons, because they want 3 gallons. They said we'll do 4 times 3, and that is 12 quarts. Hopefully you're seeing how this relates. Let's go with quarts to cups. This is 6 quarts, but let's start with 1 quart to help us out. If we have 1 quart, how many cups is that? Come over here. 1 quart is, there we go. 1 quart is 4 cups. So I will draw this. 4 cups makes 1 quart. And I want 6 quarts, so I will multiply that by 6 to get 24 cups. If that makes sense to you, go ahead and move on to Think Central. If you want a little more practice, I will go ahead and continue this with a little more practice. Okay, we have 4 gallons is how many pints? Again, I'm going to start by how much is 1 gallon compared to pints. And 1 gallon is, that's quarts. Here we go. 1 gallon is 8 pints. So I'm going to draw that for my brain to see it. That's 8 pints. So if 1 gallon is 8 pints, then 6 gallons is 6 times that amount. And 6 times 8 is 48 pints. Now how about 5 cups compared to fluid ounces? Let's start with 1 cup. You see how I'm just always starting at that base unit to start off with, and then I build from there. So 1 cup is how many fluid ounces? 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces. There we go. There's 8 fluid ounces. I think that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. 8 fluid ounces. So if 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces, then 5 cups will be 8 times 5, which is 40 fluid ounces. I hope that little bit more practice helped with that. Let's have a look at these ones in case you see any like this. We're comparing 2 gallons to 32 cups. Well, let's find out how many cups 2 gallons is, and then it would be easier to compare them. So it's just like having a common denominator. We want a common measurement system. It's exactly the same thing. So what is 1 gallon in terms of cups? 1 gallon is how many cups? Here we go. 1 gallon is 16 cups. I'm not going to draw the picture. And I'm talking about 2 gallons here. So I'm going to do times 2. And 16 times 2 is 12. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3 is 32 cups. Oh, now that they're both cups, that's easy to compare. Those are equal. Okay, we have 4 pints compared to 6 cups. We can't compare them until we have the common label, just like a common denominator. What is the relationship of pints to cups? So let's start with 1 pint. How many cups are in a pint? 1 pint is 2 cups. Okay. And so 2 times, how many pints were we talking about? 4 of them. 2 times 4 is 8. So 4 pints is the same as 8 cups. Now we have a common label. I can compare 8 to 6. 8 is more than 6. So 4 pints is more than 6 cups. Finally, I have 5 quarts compared to 11 pints. I need to get the same label, just like I need a common denominator. I need a common label. Let's figure out how many 5 quarts is in pints. So 1 quart is how many pints? 1 quart is 2 pints. Oops, P for pints. Okay, if 1 quart is 2 pints and I want 5 quarts, I will do 2 times 5, which is 10. So 5 quarts is the equivalent of 10 pints. And now I can compare 10 pints to 11 pints. 11 pints is bigger. I hope that extra practice helped to give you a little more confidence in this and that you're ready to go on Think Central. Let me know if you need a little more help.